All right, grace and peace to everybody. This video will be short. It's going to be a video where I tagged Abraham, Adventist AI Abe, and I'm not sure who else will be on his side in that video. And I don't know anybody else's username, so I tagged him. He can do with his information what he wants if he even listens to it, but it's for him if he wants to use it. Hopefully he does, because he'll be talking with me on this topic. So I'm going to lay out how I understand the 2300 and how that fits the timeline for Antiochus. So that way, when we talk, you don't straw man my position and say the timeline doesn't fit, or say 2300 doesn't extends too far. And I'll get into all that, but this is for his study of my position to help him with our upcoming discussion. All right, let me share my screen. Let's go to Daniel first, Daniel 8. ESV. So Abraham, okay. Let me see here. It is getting kind of late, so I'll probably be goofing around my words a little bit, but so the little horn is Antiochus Epiphanes, all right? And Daniel chapter 8, in my personal opinion, is not about the abomination of desolation. So the timeline 2300 is not how long, or not when. It's not about when the abomination of desolation is set up and for how long it runs for. I think that's the issue that a lot of people make when they apply the 2300. One of the issues, I think, is they want to make it about the abomination of desolation when it starts, when it finishes. That's not what Daniel 8 is about, in my personal opinion. The 2300 specifically has to do with the activity of the little horn, namely the taking away of the daily. That is the taking away of the daily is what starts the time of 2300 evenings and mornings. And then from there, the trampling of the stars and the overthrowing of the sanctuary. Why I say that is the daily is a huge focus in this vision right here. Notice, verse 9 is when the little horn starts, right? Out of one of them came a little horn. Verse 9. Verse 10, it grows great to the host of heaven, and it throws and tramples the ground, some of the stars, the host. Verse 11, it became great, even as great as the prince of the host, and the daily, the Hatamid, the daily was taken away from him, and the place of his sanctuary was overthrown. So there's a mention already. So notice, the daily was taken away. That is what starts 2300. Verse 12, and a host will be given over to it together with the daily. Then I heard a holy one speaking, and another holy one said to the one who spoke, for how long is the vision concerning the daily? So I'm sure you're getting the point. The daily is mentioned in all of these verses because it is what starts the 2300. And the 2300 in itself, that time, 2300 evenings and mornings, is a reference to the daily sacrifices, the morning and evening daily sacrifices. This whole thing is about, it's about God's judgment, his indignation, but The starting of the 2300 is taken away of the daily, and even the time, the symbolic time that is given to this prophecy is 2300 morning and evening sacrifices, or daily sacrifices, or the daily. And it's interesting because I think it's only in Daniel where the word ha tamid is used, the daily. There's a number of things like that in the book of Daniel where there are ways that he words things that are more unique to his book. And this is one of them. But if you look at various Old Testament, like word study books, they'll tell you that the daily, when it has the tamid, when it has the definite article with it, like in the book of Daniel, how it does, it refers to the morning and evening sacrifices. And so, and I'm sure, because Adventists bring this up, I'm sure Abe, you will bring this up, that 2300 extends too long. It doesn't fit. The timeline of Antiochus and of when he starts the abomination of desolation. But if you remember, I said that this prophecy here in Daniel 8 is not about taking away the abomination of desolation. But you would be correct in saying that those who hold the 2300 or 2300 days, there is some time issue. Although I'm not super dogmatic on that, it doesn't have to be down to the very, day, minute, or second, or whatever. It's okay if it's a little bit off, I think, as long as the events that are in it fit with the prophecy itself. But there is a solution to this, and it's to understand, like I said, that the 2300 evenings and mornings is a symbolic time referring to 2300 morning and evening sacrifices called the daily sacrifices. And when you add those together, you have 1150 days. So 2300 evening and morning sacrifices equals 1150 days. So if that is true, which I believe it is, then we have to ask the question, does that time itself fit the timeline of Antiochus's when he takes away the daily? And that's the key right there, because you don't want to start the 1150 at the time when he takes away when he sets up the abomination of desolation. That won't really fit. It's still a little too short. But if we look at where is it? Let's see here. In 1 Maccabees, we'll start in verse 20. And after that, Antiochus had smitten Egypt. He returned again in the 143rd year and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude, and entered proudly into the sanctuary, and took away the golden altar and the candlestick of light and all the vessels thereof, and the table of the showbread and the pouring vessels and the vials and the censers of gold and the veil and the crown and the golden ornaments that were before the temple, all of which he pulled off. He took also the silver and the gold and the precious vessels. Also he took the hidden treasures which he found. And when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having made a great massacre and spoken very proudly. Okay, so this would not be the start of the 1150, because he has not taken away the daily yet. But it sounds like he's taken away a bunch of treasures and gold and silver because he needed money for his all of his shenanigans. And then he killed some people, which is what tyrants usually do. Therefore, there was a great mourning in Israel in every place where they were, so that the princes and elders mourned, the virgins and young men were made feeble, and the beauty of women was changed. Every bridegroom bridegroom took up lamentation, and she that sat in the marriage chamber was in heaviness. The land also was moved for the inhabitants thereof, and all the house of Jacob was covered with confusion. And after 2 years, so here's the transition that we need to focus on here. So after 2 years, so this was when that happened, that was 169 BC. And so now we're at 167 BC. And so you remember this starts in 167, and then it ends in 164 BC, and then he dies in 163 BC, from what I understand. And so in 167 BC, it goes, and after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute into the cities of Judah, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude. And he spoke peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit. For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore, and destroyed much people of Israel. So he slaughtered a bunch of Israelites. And when he had taken the spoils of the city, he set it on fire and pulled down the houses and walls thereof on every side. But the women and children they took captive and possessed the cattle. Then builded they the city of David with a great and strong wall and with mighty towers, and made it a stronghold for them. And they put therein a sinful nation, wicked men, and fortified themselves therein. They stored it also with armor and victuals. And when they had gathered together the spoils of Jerusalem, they laid them up there, and so they became a sore snare. For it was a place to lie in wait against the sanctuary, and an evil adversary to Israel. Thus they shed innocent blood on every side of the sanctuary and defiled it, insomuch that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them, whereupon the city was made an habitation of strangers, and became strange to those that were born in her, and her own children left her. Her sanctuary was laid waste like a wilderness. Her feasts were turned into mourning, her Sabbaths into reproach, her honor into contempt. As had been her glory, so was her dishonor increased, and her excellency was turned into mourning. So stop right there. So this is right here, this event right here, when the chief tax collector came and defiled the sanctuary and made it desolate. This is when you start the 2300 evenings and mornings. Now, we're not told on the exact date when this happens. But this happens a few months before Antiochus sets up the abomination of desolation, and that's spoken of in chapter 11. And so that would have been in December of 167 BC. And so this right here would have happened, September or October, somewhere around there, of 167 BC. Thus giving you the full 1150 days for this prophecy, as opposed to it being a little bit too short or a little bit too long if you go the route of 2300 days. So this video was mainly for grace and peace to everybody. This video was mainly for Abraham, so that way he has my position. He knows it, because I'm sure I've said it somewhere in the past, but it's like on a random live video. But this will be for Abraham, so that way he does not strawman my position, but he understands where I'm coming from with this, and he knows to go after that position that I just talked about and laid out, which is 1150 days for the 2300, and when to start it and when it ends. So that's going to be about it for the video tonight, fellas. I appreciate everybody who came by. Hope you have a good rest of your night or the day, depending on what time zone you are. And I pray that God keeps each and every single one of you. Grace, peace to everybody. God bless.